It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for checking into That Business Show with Jamie Maloney. We're business. Actually, it's Jamie and Kelly now. We're business. Become show business. Sorry, I forgot about you over there, Kelly.
Yeah, it's a little early. I wasn't gonna get on you yet, but I didn't catch it in time, actually.
Did you stay up late watching the debate last night?
Yeah, a little too. I've got to get used to kind of just shutting down a little earlier, but it's not working yet.
Yeah, I definitely was up past my bedtime. I normally go to bed around 8 o'clock to get ready for the program and everything, but I can't miss those debates. They are more entertaining each and every time. So, although last night was kind of informative, they stayed on topic, at least topics related to the country instead of personal topics. But it did get off tangent a few times. But definitely an interesting election this time around. So, but nonetheless, I got a good night's sleep and ready to roll here on this program.
I'm glad one of us did.
And again, Kelly's been with the program since last week, and she's used to staying up till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and now I am having her come in here every morning. I like her to get here around like 6:30, but she shows up here like closer to like start time and everything. So
hey, I make it on time. That's what matters. Yeah, I am here when I'm supposed to be.
Try to get her to come here like 6 o'clock so we can have like a show
I said
meeting
that's
every
not
morning.
happening.
Yeah. So.
You're pushing it.
So I used to get here like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I've since picked up some more sleep and coming in a little bit later now. But it's the earlier you get up, the more successful you are. At least that's what the studies have shown and everything. So I'm a big believer in that.
Well, there's got to be something that accounts for those of us that are up all night working, trying to get ahead of the people that are getting up early. And we still get up early.
I don't know.
Not
just
5.
So Kelly Wilson in studio with the program here each and every morning. It's That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, and people may remember Kelly from the 1250 show Getting the Edge, which aired on Sunday afternoons last year, and she's also the founder of the Edge Business Community. Also want to remind people of the upcoming Business Symposium. We also are having an event tonight at the Tampa Club, so if you purchase a ticket to the Business Symposium, you get an invite to the event tonight, so it's a 2-event for 1 offer. So today's the last day that you can take advantage of that, so head over to tampabayradio.com and pick up a ticket. And the Business Symposium on October 28th is a business expo style event from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it'll feature our Shark Tank panel of experts, and it will have a thriving vendor marketplace full of local innovative companies, and also we'll have some breakout sessions featuring 4 different speakers, including our guest who is with us right now, and that's Lindsay Grinstead, founding partner of Tonic Consulting Group. She's going to be at the Business Symposium talking about LinkedIn advertising, something I do not know too much about. I've messed with it a little bit and cannot figure it out. Maybe she can help us with it on this segment. So Lindsay, welcome to the program today.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
And so I've listened to you sit through talks on LinkedIn advertising, and first off, it's just completely different than any of the other social media networks or platforms that are out there. What are some of the basics that you need to know when you're starting LinkedIn marketing?
So I think the first thing I would say is it is incredibly confusing. I think I don't know if they do it on purpose. I don't know. I don't really know what the logic behind it is, but they're definitely it's not intuitive as to how you can market and what your options are and what your opportunities are on LinkedIn. And I think the first thing to note is that they kind of have 2 different segments: those who spend over $20,000 a quarter and those who spend under.
Now you're talking about over $20,000 in just general marketing, or are you talking about
on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, wow. So
on LinkedIn,
so they're not for the small advertiser who wants to run an ad for $100.
Well, they have those opportunities, but it takes a while to dig and really understand what are those opportunities for me as a small business owner versus what are those opportunities for the large, big Fortune 500 brands. Once you kind of navigate through that, there are opportunities. And I think one of the really nice things about LinkedIn is that you can be very, very specific about who your demographic is that you're targeting. And that's really what they kind of pride themselves in, is that you can segment your audience based on industry, type of company, location, seniority, their title. You can be very, very specific that you want to reach this size of company in this location with people with this kind of title. and
Now-
they're living there on LinkedIn.
Now, with LinkedIn advertising, that would be mostly B2B type of advertising, business to business versus business to consumer. But then again, everybody's probably on there as a consumer / business professional. How would you respond to people that are looking to reach the consumer? Should they be marketing on LinkedIn, which is more of a business professional site?
Well, I think you made a really great point that we're all ultimately consumers, and there are companies like Starwood Hotels who I get ads all the time from Starwood, so they're marketing to me as a consumer. But I also think it's fish where the fish are and fish where your fish are, and so I think it is important to think through. People are on LinkedIn because it's their business platform, and I think you go to Facebook, and I think you're in different mindsets when you're on each site. And so when I'm on LinkedIn, I'm kind of thinking about my business. I'm thinking about my network. I'm in that mindset. Whereas when I'm on Facebook, I am more in the kind of quote unquote consumer mindset or personal mindset. So I wouldn't say never, but I would recommend someone to think about who is their audience and who are they trying to reach. And if it's a business, a B2B, then LinkedIn is your place.
We had a social media 101 with Matt Ashwood earlier in the week with Songbird.
Yeah,
right?
she learned what a hashtag was.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm getting
right.
it. But LinkedIn is
a big
one of
step.
I'm progressing. LinkedIn is one of the social media sites that I have spent more time on and have built that just because it's business oriented too. So I've spent a lot of time on there. Going back to like basic just profiles of that. For a while I would, and I do not have an upgraded membership. I tried that for a while and honestly didn't see really the big difference. I seem to do pretty well without it. But as I'm building, I think I have close to 9,000 connections at this point. And for a while I was steady going and really trying to focus on CEOs, business owners, and so it's not just crowded with people that wouldn't be in my realm of. But anyway, when now I was connecting with people and building my relationships that way, and I was like in the top 1% of your profile, or I guess in the searches.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've been not as active in it. I've dropped to like 3. Does that make a difference, like how you're searched, or is it better for me to spend time on there every day to keep building me in that 1% of the? I don't even, what is
views? Yeah,
is
views
that-
in your categories. What that is, yes.
I don't know if it necessarily depends on the amount of activity you have, but I think that someone who LinkedIn is kind of its own search engine as well, and so I think making sure that your profile is current and updated with the type of keywords that you want to be seeing is important, and so just kind of keeping up to date on that. So I don't think it's necessarily based on how much time that you're spending on the site, but it's more how relevant is your profile with the current searches.
How important is it to stay higher up in the search?
Well, I
like,
mean,
to be 1, 2, or 3, or
I think it's incredibly important. There's statistics out there. For example, if you do a Google search, that 95% of people never go past page 1. And
That's
there's
true.
an
I
even
hadn't thought
higher
about it like
percentage
that.
of people that actually never even scroll down. So it's whatever you actually see on the first page when you Google something. So, and to that point, Google and LinkedIn have a really interesting partnership, and just try it for yourself. But if you Google someone, this is always my example. If we Google our very own TBBO's Chris Krimitsos, his LinkedIn profile comes up first. It's the first thing that comes up before TBBO, before his business site, before his Facebook site. LinkedIn is the first thing you find. So try it on yourself to see where you come up. But your LinkedIn profile rates very highly on a Google search as well.
It does, yeah. I think it comes up to like 2 or 3. Tampa Bay Radio will come up first if you put my name in there. So services, is this one of the services you provide to clients? Do you do LinkedIn advertising for people as well who don't understand LinkedIn?
I help consult with people. So I think LinkedIn is a really exciting and important platform. And for business-to-business engagements, one of the most important ones for us to be present on. So I do help consult with people as to how to maximize their profile and navigate the LinkedIn advertising world.
Now, the core of your business, you help live event and creative service companies increase their sales and profitability by enhancing their top-line efforts while improving their bottom-line results. How do you go about this?
Sure, that's a lot of marketing speak, isn't it?
sounds good.
So I have a live event marketing background. My business partner and I have over 50 years of experience in the business. And when we went into consulting world, we realized that there's lots of event marketing, creative agencies and their partners that we could really help build their business. And so we look at their sales and marketing efforts as well as their operational efforts. So are they marketing and selling themselves? Believe it or not, marketing agencies have a hard time doing that. Are they marketing and selling themselves Are they maximizing those efforts? And then looking internally, are they operationally efficient? Are they staffing correctly? Are they pricing correctly? So that's really the core of what we do.
Now, you were a recent implant into the Tampa Bay region coming out of San Francisco.
Yes.
Was Tonic Consulting moved from San Francisco, or is this a new business that you started when you came to the Tampa Bay region?
It's a new business we started. I started when we moved here. So it was a lifestyle decision to move from San Francisco to Tampa. And it really kind of gave me the opportunity to think about what skills do I have and what have I learned in my career and how can I help other people. And so it was kind of a pivot. In the same space and in the same genre, but a pivot, and so Tonic Consulting is new.
How long have you been in the Tampa area now?
A little over a year.
Oh, so not that long.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Tampa.
Thanks.
Much of a cultural shock coming from San Francisco
It's
to
been
Tampa
great.
Bay?
It's been great. It's definitely a different change of pace and a very welcome different change of pace.
Now, who are some of your clients that you work with, and how you've been able to help them increase their bottom line results?
So right now we're working with, for example, an audiovisual company. So in the live event industry, if you're putting on something like a sales meeting or a big user conference, you would hire an audiovisual company to bring in all the lights and the sound and the staging. And so we're working with a company that used to be a vendor of ours in my former life, and they had no sales plan and they had no marketing plan, and so they hired us to really help them go to market. They were literally just building their business because the phone would ring. And imagine if you put a little effort into that, how much more your business could grow. So we've been working with their sales team to kind of optimize their internal processes, as well as help them understand how to articulate their message, to different audiences, and how to find targets and prospects. So it's kind of sales 101. But it's something that they haven't had to do, and the company's almost 30 years old.
So you're helping them across multiple marketing platforms to derive a marketing plan from social media, billboards, radio, television. You kind of help them, figure out all the different media and marketing outlets out there. Am I correct in that assessment?
Exactly. Yeah. So we're looking. They have a very lean and mean marketing machine. So it's one person. So we're really helping them focus and think on quality versus quantity. So don't be everywhere, but where you are, be really good and have really great content and leverage your content across social media or newsletters or live events, and really helping them think where is their audience and how can they target them.
Currently talking to Lindsay Grinstead, founding partner of the Tonic Consulting Group. You can learn more at tonicconsultinggroup.com. Also, she's going to be one of our speakers at the breakout session at the upcoming Business Symposium. She'll be going in depth talking about LinkedIn ads. Again, you can pick up tickets to the Business Symposium on October 28th over at tampabayradio.com. And again, get an invite to the event tonight at the Tampa Club from 6 to 9. So a 2 event for 1 offer. So last chance to take advantage of the 2 event for 1 offer today. So visit tampabayradio.com. Scroll down a little bit of the way to the big blue graphic image. It says the Business Symposium. You can click on that, and then I'll take you over to the place where you can purchase a ticket. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. 4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Traffic beginning to slow down now on the southbound side of the Veterans Expressway between Van Dyke and Hutchinson. Then on the brakes between Memorial Highway, the Courtney Campbell Causeway, and 275. Crash on Dr. King affecting the eastbound direction near 275. And a crash in northern Pasco and southern Hernando counties on northbound I-75 right around mile marker 295. 2 lanes blocked there. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's. Sip into a great morning with McDonald's McCafe coffee. McDonald's McCafe coffee is made with sustainable sourced 100% Arabica beans and brewed hot and fresh just for you. Enjoy any size hot McCafe coffee for $1. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Today, mostly sunny with just a slight rain chance, high 86. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 68. Cold front arrives late tomorrow, a high 84.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Lindsay Grinstead, founding partner of the Tonic Consulting Group. Learn more at tonicconsultinggroup.com. So, Lindsay, who is your client? Who is a good niche client that you work with?
Our niche client is really in the agency space, so creative agencies like advertising, public relations, marketing agencies, and their partners. So partners who would, who a marketing agency would use their services.
Now, you say that you found a consistent challenge in working with your clients through the years, and that's not clearly defining who they are and who their clients are. Elaborate on this for us, please.
So I think it's a common problem that a lot of businesses have, and I know we had it when we first started Tonic, is that you try and be too many things to too many people. And so it's hard to define, you're not defining your audience, and you're not defining who you are from a brand positioning standpoint. So then no one really understands what you do. And it was a challenge we ran into at first. And then I realized the more clients I work with, it's consistently across the board. And if you can't define who you are, then how is your sales team going to go out and sell? And how are you, your marketing team going to go out and market yourself? So the thing that we've consistently done with a lot of our clients is start with your brand positioning and really take them through a brand positioning exercise. And what is their we are statement? We are what? And what makes you unique? And how do you do it? And why do you do it? And ensuring that all of your employees are aligned with that messaging is really, before we build out a sales plan or before we build out a marketing plan, it's kind of the consistent place that we need to start with.
I think a lot of people want to cast a broad net because they think, well, that's easier to bring in clients if I cast a broad net, and oftentimes they end up losing clarity in the process. Can you share with us some examples of some people that you've worked with or examples that you've seen where, the message is unclear, for instance?
Sure. So we worked with a creative agency who, in their minds, they knew that they could produce videos and they could do set designs and they could do, they could write speeches and they could do graphics and they could do all of these different things. And when they went to market, the customer didn't really understand what they were trying to sell. And so we helped them kind of really clarify a very specialized niche. And it took a long time because they kept saying, but we can do more than that. We can do more than that. And when we said, we know you can do more than that, and you know you can do more than that. But, win those clients over with this small piece of business or with this niche business, this very specialized piece where there's less competition. Don't muddy the waters with a kind of less competitive space. And then you can then build your business with your existing client base from there.
I think I always used to be so wordy. I would add like 10 things where I could have probably just like taken all of those and made that into 2 or 3 words, but I would have this whole paragraph. And everybody, Kelly's, no one's going to read that. I thought they would, but it took a while and for many to tell me otherwise. And then yeah, you simplify.
Simplify. And the other challenge is if you don't simplify, then you have a sales team out there that might be saying different things. And so then are you winning the business you want? Are you selling the kind of business you want? You want your sales force to be a marketing arm for you, really, and all be speaking and beating to that same drum.
What outlets work well right now in marketing? Right now, I hear a lot of people talking about Facebook advertising is where people are getting the best results from. I mean, are TV and radio are dying off? Print is dying off. Is social media where people need to be today?
I think it really depends on your audience. I would never say to a client, don't be in print because no one's looking at newspapers anymore. I think it depends on who you're trying to reach. I think that deep down, word of mouth and relationships are where business is found, is where your best business is found. And so how do you cultivate that and how do you generate that? So I think, again, depending on the audience, whether it's social media or a live event that you should be doing or a speaking engagement, or television, it all kind of just depends on who you're trying to reach.
How do you market your own business then? Because you're doing this for other businesses. How do you then also practice what you preach?
So I've kind of had a two-pronged approach. Since I'm new to the local Tampa area, I've really tried to get out there and do things like the Business Symposium and speak on LinkedIn ads at that event and cultivate kind of I call it my in-person strategy, getting to network myself locally. And then from a national perspective, I'm here in Tampa, my business partner's in Boston, and I'm obviously from San Francisco, so we have kind of a national footprint. But it's a lot of it right now, is in the beginning stages of our company, has been through our relationships and through writing thought leadership pieces and publishing them on LinkedIn, but also really working our relationships and again, it's been the networking from a local and national level.
Now, you have an event planning background, and I think having an event at least every few months or something that's associated with your brand or your company is advisable. Would you advise your clients then to hold some type of an event, even if it's only going to get 10 or 15 people into the room?
I think it's a great way to demonstrate to demonstrate maybe thought leadership or to reconnect with clients. I'm a little biased, but I'm a big proponent of kind of the face-to-face interactions and live event interactions. And it's a brand touch point. So whether it's a round table with potential clients or you're treating them to cocktails or something like that, I think I'm a big proponent of kind of that face-to-face engagement. Now,
you've been in Tampa for over a year now between here and San Francisco. What are the differences that you've noticed in the business communities between the two markets?
I have been amazed at the incredible entrepreneurial spirit in Tampa, and I think it's really exciting to see. And so that's something that was in both cities, but is something that as a new entrepreneur, I've been thrilled at kind of the thriving community and the support that's in this community for entrepreneurs.
Heard that as well. So hopefully Tampa will get that brand recognition across the country as the entrepreneurial spirit continues to grow and becomes a movement across the country. Lindsay Grinstead, founding partner of Tonic Consulting Group, thank you so much for being in studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And again, learn more at tonicconsultinggroup.com. And she's also going to be one of the featured speakers at the Business Symposium talking about LinkedIn ads, and that's going to be on Friday, October 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So again, pick up your tickets over at TampaBayRadio.com. Coming back from the break, we have Cheryl Hunter, the entrepreneur's attorney, on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Campbell Causeway and 275, and big delays on northbound I-75 in Pasco and Hernando counties. Crash around mile marker 295 has 2 lanes blocked there. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Utica, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Extragen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. No matter how busy you get, you want the best for your children, especially when they're not feeling well. The Extragen Temporal Scanner Thermometer takes your child's temperature quickly and accurately, so you can get back to what's important, helping them feel better. Pick one up at Walmart or other fine retailers.
1250 winds, weather center forecast, mid-80s for the high today, mostly sunny skies, upper 60s for the low. Chance of rain tomorrow in the forecast, a little cooler, low mid-80s, then sunshine and upper 70s through the weekend. Really nice one coming up. Tonight at 8 o'clock, NLCS Game 5 of the series, Cubs and the Dodgers on Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to the program, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Show airs Monday through Friday, 7 to 9, live video stream available over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, please connect with us on social media, Facebook.com/That Business Show. Also, Twitter under Jamie_Maloney. Time to bring in my next guest to the program, and also returning a guest to the program, Cheryl Hunter, the entrepreneur's attorney and founder of Hunter Business Law. And you can learn more about this over at hunterbusinesslaw.com. Cheryl, welcome back to the program today.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been a while. Nice to see you all again.
And so with Halloween right around the corner, Cheryl is going to offer up some tricks or treats, I should say, with regard to entrepreneurs and business. So Cheryl, start us off today. What can we do for entrepreneurs out there with regard to business tricks or treats?
Well, this is kind of a fun thing we're doing. We're going to do a little blogging. We have our signature event. It's funny, Lindsay was talking about as a business owner to have some signature events of your own. So we've been doing our afternoon teas. It's the Entrepreneur's Afternoon Tea. Once a month we try to do it, and it's just a roundtable group. So we were thinking of themes for our tea and themes for blogging, and so here we are with a theme for Halloween. I meant to bring some wigs and some donuts, treats, but it's early.
Do you dress up for Halloween, or do you have a costume picked out?
It was funny. I don't have one yet, but I love actually to dress up. So I'm sure I'll come up with something by that point in time.
So one of the quick tips then for entrepreneurs are use the events like we had talked about with Lindsay to your advantage. You do the afternoon teas then?
Yeah, so TEA, the Entrepreneur's Afternoon. It's just an hour and a half. It's very informal. It's really just a way for us to connect. As an attorney and working with businesses that are trying to grow, a big part of what we try to do is to help connect our clients to other people and in the community, to other clients that we have so they can be strategic partners. Finding that, nobody really wants to pay for legal fees, even if it's great value. They don't want to pay. But it's easier to write that check if we've helped them to get business, if we've helped them to get some publicity, things that benefit their company. So we spend a lot of time matchmaking, if you will. So the teas are part of that matchmaking exercise. And I think that anyone who's in professional services particularly, can really benefit from making an effort to connect people. Another thing that we do along the same lines is recognizing people. You know, when you see someone in the paper, or you see an article about them in a magazine like Edge, it's wonderful to then take a piece of that, just cut it out. You know, everything is so digital now. To also interesting point that Lindsay made, she wouldn't say no to print. It depends on your audience, but I like to get mail, other than bills, right?
Right.
I like to get mail, and I think when somebody takes the time to do a handwritten note. So I have something called Mom's Clippings that our firm does, because my mom, I went to boarding school, so I left pretty young, and she would always send me little clippings, and she still does it to this day. She passes them along to me through my husband or whoever she's seen most recently. And these clippings are just information, things of value to me, whether it's about parenting or business, or she sees an article about a client of ours that she knows is a client. We then take those and we have printed envelopes called Mom's Clippings, and we send them out to a client or to somebody with a little personal note. Great article, great picture, you know, congratulations on your award or what have you.
And it's proven that stuff that is handwritten on the envelope gets opened. If it's printed, it usually goes into the trash.
Exactly. So it's that personal touch, and it takes a lot of discipline to take the time to do that. But if you create a little program like Mom's Clippings or whatever it is that you do that's a signature thing, you're more inclined to do it because you have a process around it. So I think anything you want to integrate into your business, another trick or treat would be to create a system and a process. So that monthly event, try to come up with one that's you've already got it down pat. You know where you're doing it, you know what you're going to serve, you know what you're going to generally talk about. You have an invitation process. Same with your ways of communicating. Have a process so that there's a discipline around it.
Well, and I have attended a couple of your afternoon teas and enjoyed them very much. It's a great, intimate kind of setting, and I think you really choose well as far as who you invite, and it just pairs up really well with those that attend. And it was a great time.
I want to speak about the importance of clarity, because I know you several years ago were having some issues with clarity. You went through the KPI program with Topher, and you really honed in on business law, and your law firm took off from that point. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely, and that would be another really good trick to think about that Lindsay also talked about is the niche. People have to understand who to even refer to you. And if you don't have a clearly defined mission, you don't know what your company is really there to serve and who you're serving, and that's not clear to your audience, it's very hard for not only the end customer to figure out whether you're the right match for them, it's difficult for anybody who wants to send business your way because they're not quite sure how to express what you do. So I've been practicing law for over 20 years, but I had done the usual trifecta of real estate, estate planning, and business law. And so it was somewhat diluted, or the norm, to sort of combine those and be a transactional lawyer. So I really looked at what do I love, what do I have a passion for doing, what makes me want to get up and work with clients every day. And going through Key Person of Influence, Topher Morrison's program, really helped me discover that and figure out what is it that I'm passionate about. And I've always loved entrepreneurship. I love those creative clients that are trying to grow and build their company. So whether we help them start the business or plan to sell it in 2 or 3 years, making sure they're building their company on a healthy foundation, labor and employment laws. Oh, my first hire, what do I do? I really like that. So we dropped publicizing real estate and estate planning, but we still do real estate. We review commercial leases. We help clients buy commercial buildings. So it's not that we don't do it. It's just not the main message that to draw in the business. Same with estate planning. We have a estate planning, asset protection, and business succession package. And so we integrate it for our business clients. So we don't just attract regular mom and pop estate planning. We attract people who need estate planning because they have a business and that's their primary asset. So it's so much easier once you clarify and narrow to then build everything off of that.
Was it difficult to kind of let some things go?
Yeah, because I had the expertise, because I knew how to do these things. So it's like, well, wait a minute, then maybe I won't get as many clients. And as soon as I narrowed, and I actually went ahead and registered the trademark, the Entrepreneur's Law Firm. And it's funny, people, I think they go to our site, they see the type of work that we do, entrepreneur, attorney, and it's clear I am we are, as a firm, I've now grown 5 attorneys, but we are serving that market. And the other aspect that's interesting, they're not all startups. Many of them are pretty far along developed companies, but they're owned by people who have an entrepreneurial mindset. They're serial entrepreneurs. And so we end up being kind of like a family office for those serial entrepreneurs because they feel like, okay, this is a law firm that understands the world that I'm in.
Now, in the last segment, we're talking about, the entrepreneurial spirit with, what Lindsay was seeing in San Francisco versus here in Tampa. And she immediately said it's like night and day. And I've heard this from a number of people, too, that Tampa is a hub of entrepreneurship. And I've been doing the program now for, around 2 years now. And I've seen so much, innovation and from entrepreneurs in the area. What are you seeing in your law firm with regard to entrepreneurship?
Well, I absolutely love to hear that because I've been trying to work with a lot of the people who are in this room, too, to build the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Tampa Bay and as well in the state of Florida so that we can attract people who create companies, who provide jobs, who improve our economy and make it a more exciting place to live. So I love to hear that. The other thing that our firm is involved in is a company called Florida Funders. I'm actually an investor, but I also am general counsel for Florida Funders. And we invest in early stage growth focused businesses, mostly tech, but that's not 100% criteria. But they're mostly tech or technology enabled companies. And we give them funding. And that's a big part of it. We have a lot of support. We have a lot of service providers and mentors and places like the WAVE Accelerator Program. And
at Florida Funders, do you give the, fund the organization or and stay out of it, or do you take an ownership and actually get in there and help the company as well? How does that all mix together?
So Florida Funders is taking advantage of the Jobs Act. So the Jobs Act is what I would call internet financing. It's a way of aggregating the crowd to fund, very much the way it used to be for Kickstarter for a product. So instead we take, it's an equity platform. So individual investors can come on, they can register as an accredited investor. They do need to be an accredited investor, which has a certain wealth level and earning level. And then they can go in and invest as little as $3,000 in Florida-based companies. So it's a new asset class that's now accessible because of this federal legislation.
And it's
very exciting.
Florida Funders is funded like 10, 15 different companies right now?
I believe it's 12 separate companies at this point. So, for example, we just completed a raise for Pick My Kid. It was like $425,000 that we raised alongside other angel network groups. So we also often syndicate with other
He's an incredible story. He was on my show when he was just launching that app, and I didn't fully understand it and know if it would go anywhere. Next thing I know, he's getting like $1 million investment, and he's standing in front of the Microsoft building a couple weeks ago, posting on social media. He said, "Hey, important meeting today with Microsoft about my app." I was like, "Wow, that's incredible."
Yeah, no, he's really come a long way, and he's a tenacious guy. He's very committed. He's worked very hard, and it didn't, this didn't come easy. I mean, he's had to really wait and work, to get where Pat's gotten.
Are people pitching Florida Funders a lot of apps? I think, and tech is tech, but I think apps are really kind of taking off right now. Are you seeing a lot of applications of tech?
We've gotten over probably to date 600 or 700 separate applications, and in addition to people just say, "Hey, would my company, verbally, would my company be a candidate for this?" So we get we get just a wide variety of types of companies that come and ask for consideration.
So Florida Funders provides the funding, but it doesn't necessarily step in and take any type of ownership, though, of the company?
Well, when you say funding, that is equity. I mean, we get ownership.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't just give it. It's not a donation. Yeah.
How wonderful, though, for you and just having, to be a part of that organization. It sounds like an amazing opportunity. And congratulations, because you've built your business to the point where you're then able to help others and kind of give back and be a part.
It's fun. I mean, obviously, we only are funding 2 to 3% of the applicants, so it's a pretty rigorous process. But I think even for those who go through the application process, I think even just having to pull their information together, understanding what investors care about, what we're looking for in terms of potential returns on investment, their management team, the how big is the addressable market in order to get a large return. The exercise of that can be beneficial and educational for a company just to go through the process.
What I was getting at with I wasn't meaning the ownership. I was talking more managerial control. Do you step in? Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
And actually, this kind of came up in my mind because we were talking about the entrepreneur ecosystem, and that's the nice thing about Florida Funders. It's mission based in the sense that obviously we want to make money, but the mission is to keep these companies in Florida by funding them, but also supporting them and also helping to build the entrepreneur ecosystem. So we're looking at sponsoring a lot of events, being speakers at events, having a really robust educational website for Florida-based companies and entrepreneurs and the investors to all learn and congregate. So those introductions can be amazingly valuable, to be able to say to a company that's in the restaurant industry as a technology company to be able to match them even for like a 30-minute conversation with a very successful restaurateur and get feedback on whether their product meets the needs of that customer is brilliant. I mean, and that has a tremendous value. Access is value. So
good discussion here on this early Thursday morning with Cheryl Hunter, the entrepreneur's attorney and also founder of Hunter Business Law. And learn more at hunterbusinesslaw.com. Again, talking about tips or tricks and treats for entrepreneurs ahead of the Halloween, which is actually just over a week away. So didn't even realize it was just around the corner until I look at the date. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Crashing northbound I-75 in Hernando County near mile marker 295 in the clearing stages. Right lane still blocked there. Also slow traffic on westbound I-4 from Plant City over towards McIntosh. Southbound 75 from just south of Bruceby Downs to I-4 and southbound 275 between Beers and Sly. Southbound Veterans Expressway slow between Van Dyke and Hutchinson and a crash on southbound US 41 south of Sims. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Damp Rid.
Damp Rid Moisture Absorber is the all-natural way to absorb excess moisture in closets, bathrooms, and basements, so air is cleaner and drier, clothes smell fresher, and everyone can breathe easier. Damp Rid Moisture Absorber. Find a retailer near you at damprid.com.
Today, mostly sunny with just a slight rain chance, high 86. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 68. Cold front arrives late tomorrow, a high 84.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Here I'm engaged in a conversation, not even paying attention. We're coming back on the airwaves. So luckily, Kelly was paying attention. So thank you, Kelly. So Cheryl, let's talk about some resources for entrepreneurs with regard to apps out there on the marketplace.
Yeah, so I've had the benefit of just learning about some recent applications that can help us become more efficient. Obviously, as you grow, you have to have systems. It's so critical. And to not have old systems that are outdated that, aren't as productive. Mm-hmm. So one of them is Trello. So it's a very user-friendly project management tool. So what you can do is you have these little boards. It's like having a whiteboard in your platform. You go in. So for us, for example, we have the dumping ground board. Mm-hmm. we're literally, it's like all this stuff is flying at you. And if you don't write it down, you're going to forget that somebody asked you to do something, or this client needs this, or, oh yeah, I said I'm going to make this appointment, both personal and professional. So that's the dumping ground. So you don't worry about who's going to do it, when it's going to get done. You just put it there. Mm-hmm. Then the next one you can drag and drop it over is, who am I assigning this to? Who's going to do this and be accountable and responsible for this project or this item or this to-do thing? So once that's done, you can drag and drop it over into in progress and then ultimately completed. So it's it's like having a to-do list that's virtual and that's easy to move around. You can drag and drop the pictures or initials of your team members so that they know that they've now been assigned this task. And once you do that, it can give an email alert or a text alert to the person that's on your team that you've just assigned that to. So sometimes I forget which of the paralegals did I give this assignment to, which of the attorneys did I give this assignment to. So I can just go on Trello and I can see their picture assigned to that task.
I've always wondered how attorneys keep track of all the information that you get, because it's just information. I mean, how do you keep track of all that?
Yes, and I think almost all of us are victims of information overload. Just we have so much information coming at us and demands on our time. It's not easy to manage. And I mean, we even have like a family board now because, I've got 2 kids and my husband, and there's other family members, and there's sports to get to, and there's, so I've got to get 3 children's pictures for the yearbook. Where are those on Shutterfly, right? So it's difficult. The other one is called Slack. And I have not really used this a lot, but Florida Funders uses it effectively. And it's a communication integration app for teams. So, some people send text, some people send email. And those emails, you get into these threads, like, oh my goodness. So it's actually a place that integrates. It's a way for everybody to message each other without going outside that sphere. So you can go in and see the history of those communications in your team. So I would definitely check that out if you're working with teams on a regular basis.
Yeah, those are two.
You don't want to have 10 people on your email list all the time. You want to just push it. This is my team that I'm sending this information to, and they receive it.
So Trello and Slack. Okay.
Yeah, what was the first one?
Trello, Trello.
All right, those are both apps I'm not familiar with, but so many apps just keep coming off the market, or on and off the market very quickly these days. And that's what I was saying earlier. I think apps are a great market to be in right now. There's a lot of opportunities, and we talk about that with
solving problems.
Yep,
I mean,
we talk about that with Brian Kornfeld a lot on the program, founder of Popcorn Apps, and just a lot of opportunities out there. Community resources for entrepreneurs. What do we have out there?
Yeah, so, there's so much going on that is either free or very low cost. I know you have a wonderful symposium coming up and do a lot of that's an accelerator program, local accelerator program. So they've been doing a lot of programs that I don't think people realize that they're doing. So they have like a free co-working day once a month, for example, for women or for Hispanic entrepreneurs to come in, take advantage of the resources and the mentor relationships that are available at their facility downtown. They have pitch nights. And one of the things about going to pitch nights, I tell people, it's not just for you to listen to a pitch and possibly invest in a company. It's a way to learn because you listen to the feedback that's given to those companies that are pitching. What kind of, are they doing an effective pitch? What makes it effective? Why is it not effective? Why are the judges of that pitch not resonating with the message? So you learn by listening, just like people who watch Shark Tank. You can learn a lot from listening to those questions and that correspondence between the pitching people and the people listening to it.
How often do they do the pitch sessions?
That is once a month, I believe. That's once a month. And then there's also mentoring speed dating days. So literally you can go around and speed date from mentor to mentor. So that's one organization. Just go to the Wave, Tampa Bay, and you'll see there are different events. And then there's obviously the universities, whether it's USF or like UT, a good example of this. They're having a business network symposium series. They do it every year. It's free. They have a little breakfast. You come, and they have some amazing speakers. So they have the CEO of My Matrix coming to speak, the Odyssey Marine Exploration CEO, Mark Gordon, and the CEO of Syndaver Labs, which is so cool. They build synthetic bodies, literally, for medical
I saw that
and
on
human
the
body
news.
parts.
Yeah, I
Yes,
saw
so
the
they're
news.
going to be speaking. Literally, that's the panel. These are amazing people. And that event is October 25th at UT, and it's free.
I believe that person was on Shark Tank a couple of years ago, and I think they got a deal, and it fell out. That was in the news.
I don't know that. Yes, he wasn't. It's right here. It says on Shark's Tank.
Yeah.
But what a fascinating
it was a pretty
business to be in. So, going and not only for the networking and who you're going to meet there, but this is part of that entrepreneurial ecosystem, that this information and these people are available to learn from in our community at little to no cost.
Another resource out there, Million Cups, every Wednesday at the Collaborative Center there in Ybor City. People can go there and pitch their products. It's actually a national movement.
Yes, and they have 1 million cups in St. Petersburg. I recently hired a new attorney, Elena, and she is going to be going to some events in St. Petersburg because we want to expand our footprint in St. Petersburg because they have amazing entrepreneurial things happening in companies that are growing down there. So it's not that far, understand? It's just a bridge. But, when your day is really busy, we really just want to get much more active in the scene down
So
there.
you work with so many entrepreneurs, and there's entrepreneurs and business owners that are listening. Talk to the community about what you see with the entrepreneurs that you're working with, because, everybody goes through ups and downs, and not everybody is successful, and they go through some failures before they succeed. What do you see in the typical entrepreneur that you work with?
I think one of the hardest things is to know, have I pivoted enough? Have I tried enough things? And maybe it's time to let it go. And because it's a painful thing to do that. So I think that's one thing, is to really get different advisors to help you make a decision over, am I just doing this wrong? Am I launching it wrong? Am I marketing it wrong? Or is it just not a viable product or idea?
Right.
So that's one thing I do see, and it can be very painful. The other thing is that niche, and be really, really clear on what you do and who you're doing it for, so you don't waste precious resources, including time and money on marketing.
All right. Cheryl Hunter, the entrepreneur's attorney and founder of Hunter Business Law. Thank you so much for being in studio.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And again, learn more at hunterbusinesslaw.com. Also, again, pick up a ticket to the Business Symposium, and today is the last day to take advantage of the 2-event-for-1 pricing, with the event going on tonight at the Tampa Club from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So again, buy a ticket over at TampaBayRadio.com. Just scroll down to the graphic that says Business Symposium. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Commercial program paid for by Maloney Productions. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding program are not those of